All right, we got to talk about this next one. Is Cam Newton sexist? This has been blowing up. He went on a Barstool Sports podcast and had a few takes on what he thinks is the role of a woman. But I think he was talking about maybe specific women. We will let you guys decide for yourselves, and then obviously we're going to give our take on this. And Mediaite is the one that blew this up. And you got to remember too, there is a specific clip here, and that's all you're seeing. And I think it's always interesting. I'll preface it with this: that Cam Newton talks about a woman when I feel like he kind of dresses like one at times. Boom! Check out the video.
Here we go.
I had a perfect example of what a man was in my life by my father. My parents has been together for 36, 37 years now, and it's a beautiful thing. I grew up in a 3-parent household, my mom, my father, and my grandmother. And I knew what a woman was, not a bad bitch.
Okay, what's the difference?
A woman.
Okay.
A bad bitch is a person who's just, girl, I'm a bad bitch. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I look the part, but I don't act the part.
Okay.
And it's a lot of women who are bad bitches, and I say bitches in a way not to degrade a woman, but just to go off the aesthetic of what they deem is a boss chick. Now, a woman for me is handling your own, but knowing how to cater to a man's needs, right? And I think a lot of times when you get that aesthetic of like, I'm a boss bitch, like I'm a this, I'm a that, no, baby, like, but you can't cook.
Okay.
You don't know.
Well, first off, what I'll say is apologies for not warning you that there's a couple words in there.
Yep.
So definitely not something I would say out loud, but I do want to get your take on this. And you should have saw us yesterday, everybody, because we watched this together. And I said, Ashley, this is not a man telling you what to do, but do not give me your take right now. I want to hear your take live on the show. So what was your initial reaction to this clip, and maybe trying to figure out the context of what he's trying to say? Should people be saying that Cam Newton is sexist for these comments, and does he deserve this kind of backlash?
Well, I think it does hurt him in the sense that he's made comments before with a female reporter who was talking about routes, and he was all like, oh, wow, a female actually knows about football. That's surprising. It was a very distasteful comment at that moment, and then this doesn't make him look any better. However, what happened to just allowing people to have their opinions on what they want in a woman or want in a man? I think everyone's entitled to that opinion, and I get what he's saying, because there are a lot of girls that walk around saying that, I'm a boss chick, or I'm a boss and I don't need a man, and I'm independent and I can be on my own, and
INDEPEND.
Exactly. It's just like, oh, I don't need a man, like I'm too good for that, or but then but then on the flip side too, it's like women tend to expect a lot from a guy when they're dating them. It's like, he should pay for everything. He should pay for pay for the bills, pay for the food, always take me out on dates. So I think for me, it's like, first and foremost, he's entitled to his opinion, what he sees, what he wants to see in a woman. Then again, too, it's like a lot of girls claim that they're all this and that, and they don't even know how to take care of themselves, right? I mean, that's not every woman, but I mean, for me, like, I'm independent. I can cook, I can clean.
Heck yeah.
I like working, but again, like, I would like to find a guy who I feel that can run the household, or at least run, like, make the money, take me out.
Not just run from defenders, but be able to run the house.
Well, I want both, but I think to me, it's just give and take. But I don't know what is so wrong with a woman, being in the household, raising the kids, cooking, cleaning. Like, I don't know why that's such a bad thing. Like, that's not for every woman, though. Some women don't want that, and that's okay.
This whole thing is so blown out of proportion.
It is. It really is.
It's absolutely insane, because look at the woke mob that's just going after this. Obviously, I don't think this really helps him in free agency at all. I mean, whether you agree with him or you don't, or you're just somewhat in the middle. It doesn't help them.
Mm-hmm.
But you have an entire society that's trying to break down the nuclear family. How did he start this discussion? He talked about how I grew in a 2-parent household.
Yeah.
You know that kids that grow up in a 2-parent household are wildly more successful and have a way better quality of life. And he looks to his parents with a lot of respect and thanks for helping build me up in the man I am today.
Mm-hmm.
They probably didn't give him a lot of fashion advice. They probably should have. But I love the way he started out like that because we have a culture now where everyone just feels so entitled to things. And there's obviously, too, there's a lot of weak men out there, no doubt. But there's definitely a lot of women that are just like, I just don't understand, like, why I don't have a ring on my finger. It's like maybe because you're selfish. Maybe because you're out there and you're just like, I don't need no man, but I want a man. And
I want a man to take. I can't even tell you how many girls I meet who are like, I just don't want to work. I just want a man to take care of me. But I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to do this. Like, I've talked to women like that. But I also, like, know a lot of women who are really hard workers, and men are intimidated by them. They're like, oh, no, like, I can't date a woman who's making more money than me. But then there's on the flip side, like, to me, it doesn't matter. It's his opinion. Like, what he wants to see or what he wants in a woman, like, I don't know why it's such a bad thing. Like, why is it a bad thing for a guy to want to be, you know, the leading man in the house where he's the one that's out making the money. He's the one that's providing for his family. And the woman's at home, I mean, raising the kids. You know, and also, too, I think it's really scary how this society is trying to push for both parents in the household to be gone, away from their kids all day, working 24 hours. And then you have these teachers raising the kids, which is a whole other discussion. But I think it's going to be doing more harm than good to want to take 2 parents out of the household. I think there's nothing wrong with being a CEO of your house, cleaning, cooking, also having a hobby on the side. If you still want to work, that's awesome. But, like, I just think, I don't know why we're just steering away from 2-parent households. I came from a 2-parent household. Both of my parents work very hard, but my mom was there for the majority of my childhood, and I don't know where I would be without her. I have the best relationship with her. And my dad was always there providing for the family, making sure that I had everything I needed, from food to clothes to a good school. You know, that's something that I will take with me for the rest of my life, and that's what I look at too. You know, I want to find a guy that's going to be able to provide. I still want to be able to do my own thing on the side, because just in case something ever happens in the future, which it does, I don't want to have to, like, be like, well, I don't have anything to my name. The guy was being the sole provider, and now I'm just stuck here with 3 kids, and I don't have any money to my name.
You know who's mad? Is the bad biz, who he's actually talking about, and the Soy Boys out there.
Yeah.
Those are the people that are pissed off, the people that are constantly wondering, like, you know, why am I not with somebody? Why do I not feel this value in my relationships? There's specific roles that I think people should be playing in relationships, not stuck to those roles.
Right.
And I don't think that's what Cam Newton was saying.
No.
He's not saying that every single woman should just be at home cooking and cleaning.
No.
But no, for me as a man, I want to be able to provide for a woman. And someone that can provide for the kids at home eventually at some point. Like, I want to be able to bring home the bacon and really be able to take care of this person and build up my future wife and encourage her in the career that she's at, and then maybe just getting to a point where we start having kids where I have the ability and the means to say, like, I'd love for you to make sure that kid is growing up with you, not just sent to some sort of daycare or have some sort of person coming over and taking care of the kid. It's like, no, I want to provide. So I think this is just blown out of proportion. And then just my final thought here is, look at things like Black Lives Matter Incorporated. They are trying to destroy the nuclear family. You have big government right now that is subsidizing single-parent households. There's a lot of very, very courageous and beautiful people out there that have been single parents that have sacrificed a lot. So don't take this stuff out of context. But you should not get rewarded for leaving, or you should not get rewarded for, you know, if I lose this guy, you know, the government will take care of me. It's like, no, there should be such an emphasis on fatherhood. And that's why we're going to talk about in just a little bit what Tony Dungy had to say about fatherhood and how he's teamed up with Governor Ron DeSantis for a fatherhood bill out in Florida. And he's getting a ton of backlash. The people that are pushing back on this nonsense and attacking Tony Dungy and other people that are standing up for the nuclear family, it's nonsense.
Well, I have one more thought that I just thought of with Cam Newton just imagine how hard it probably is for these athletes or any celebrity who's making millions and millions of dollars to actually find a quality woman who is not just after them for their money.
Yep.
So he's probably also basing this on his own experiences, right? Where he's like, I'm providing and making all this money, and then I can't even get a woman to want to do anything for me. And I think that goes with a nice give and take in a relationship is like, hey, if I'm providing, like, what are you bringing to the table? Like, can I trust you to take care of my kids in the future? Can I trust to come home after a long day and you're gonna help take care of me and whatever that looks like, you know? I mean, I'm assuming food, cooking and whatnot, or making sure that the house is clean.
Life skills.
There has to be something there. You can't just take everything from the relationship where you don't want to make money, you don't want to raise the kids, you don't want to cook, you don't want to clean, you don't want to do anything. You just want to basically live that high life lifestyle and not provide anything to it. So I see where he's coming from in a sense where it's probably very hard for him to find a good, genuine, quality person.
Exactly. Then the final thing, too, is just the catering to a man's needs. I don't think he was trying to say, and I'm not going to put words in his mouth, basically from what I was understanding from the rest of the podcast, and I think what he was trying to get across, talking about the nuclear family, talking about his parents, talking about roles. When he says cater to a man's needs, I don't think he was saying that like a woman needs to be a servant to a man.
No.
But there is a sense of service in a relationship
Always.
where you are serving each other. The way I look at it,
Mhm.
you're not only serving each other, you're serving the good Lord as well. There's a covenant with him that you're doing that for your significant other, and you're doing it for the big man upstairs. This is blown out of proportion. I think it's absolutely nonsense. And whoever is actually keeping their foot on the gas here, once again, is probably just some sort of crazy bad bit or soy boy. All right, before we get into Kirk's Hot Sauce Spicy Hot Take, you've heard me say it, and I'll say it again. Subscribe. If you're not subscribed to us on YouTube, press subscribe. You can hit the bell so you're going to get notified any single time we go live, post some videos, all that good stuff. We're also on Apple and Spotify, so if you're not subscribed to that, subscribe. You can follow us on Spotify, leave a 5-star review. Appreciate that very much.